Ethan McCoy had been streaming for 3 years. A small but loyal audience tuned in every Friday to watch him explore the internet's strangest corners. Forgotten forums, old flash games, and once an abandoned social network that hadn't seen a login since 2009. He wasn't famous. His channel barely broke 2,000 subscribers. But he was passionate, funny, and always had this eerie charm, like he belonged in the darker corners of the web. That's why, when someone sent him a private message titled, "You like creepy streams? Try this," he didn't hesitate. The message contained nothing but a link, a long, messy URL ending in onion, a dark web link. At first, he thought it was a prank. People often sent fake deep web links to scare YouTubers, but curiosity won, as it always did. Ethan turned on his camera. "All right, guys," he said, adjusting his mic. "Tonight, we're diving deeper than ever. Someone sent me this link. They said it's, something called the Silent Stream. Never heard of it. Probably fake. But hey, that's why we're here." The chat exploded with laughing emojis and "do it" comments. He opened his Tor browser, pasted the link, and hit enter. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then a black screen, no sound, no UI, just darkness. Then faint static crawled across the speakers. He frowned. Weird. No title, no chat, no... The stream flickered to life. At first, it looked like low-quality footage from a surveillance camera. A room, dimly lit by a single overhead bulb. Concrete walls cracked and wet. In the center, a chair. Empty. Ethan leaned closer. Okay. This is either art or some serial killer live streaming his basement. Either way, I'm not leaving. The viewers loved it. Comments poured in. "Dude, this is so creepy, lol. Watch the corners. Something moved. Fake but cool setup." He watched for several minutes. Nothing changed. The same stillness, the same chair, the same dim light. But then, the camera moved. Slightly. Almost like someone behind it had just breathed. Ethan's grin faltered. He replayed the footage, thinking it might be a glitch. But the movement was too organic. Someone was there. He checked the time. 2:11 a.m. "All right, maybe it's looping," he muttered. "Let's record this for later." As he prepared to end the segment, a figure entered the frame. It walked slowly, like its limbs were being pulled by invisible strings. It was tall, wearing a white mask with no eyes, no mouth. Ethan froze. "What the hell?" The figure stood behind the chair. It raised a finger to its lips. "Shh." The live chat went insane. "OMG, what is that? Bro, end the stream. It's looking at you!" Ethan's heart pounded. He forced a laugh. Okay, this is some ARC stuff. You got me." But when he looked closer, the figure turned its head, and somehow, the mask's empty face seemed to shift, just slightly, like it was focusing directly on him. His camera flickered. The stream lagged. Then, his webcam feed appeared inside the dark web stream. His own face, on that masked figure's screen. Wait, what? How the hell? He yanked the power cord from his PC. The screen went black. Everything stopped. For several seconds, only his own breathing filled the room. He stared at the monitor. Nothing. Just his reflection in the dark glass. Ethan laughed nervously. Okay. Maybe that's enough for tonight." He stood, stretched, and turned to shut off his studio light, and froze. In the faint glow from his monitor, someone was sitting in his chair. Ethan didn't move. He couldn't. His eyes stayed locked on the dark shape in his chair. Motionless, silent, almost blending into the shadows. For a long moment he thought it might be an illusion, a trick of light. But then, it breathed, slowly. The faint rise and fall of a chest. Ethan's mouth went dry. Who the hell are you?" he whispered. No answer. The only sound was the low hum of his computer's cooling fan. He took a step forward. The chair creaked just a little. The figure leaned forward into the light. A white mask. The same one from the stream. Ethan stumbled backwards so hard he hit his desk.
Okay, this isn't funny anymore.
Still silence. The figure tilted its head, slow and deliberate, like it was studying him. Ethan's mind scrambled for logic. Maybe a friend pranking him. Maybe someone broke in. But how could anyone break into his locked apartment in the middle of the night without a sound? "Listen, I'm calling the cops," he stammered, reaching for his phone. The figure didn't move. He unlocked the phone with shaking fingers. The screen lit up. 2:46 a.m. He opened the dialer, and then his phone screen glitched. Static spread across it, just like the stream earlier. The screen went black. Then text appeared. "Don't." Ethan dropped the phone. He backed away, heart hammering. "What do you want?" The figure finally stood up. Every movement looked wrong, like each joint bent just a bit too far. It took a slow step toward him, the mask never breaking eye contact. Ethan darted for the door. The knob wouldn't turn. He yanked harder. Locked. He never locked that door. Behind him, the masked figure whispered something. It was faint, almost static-like. He turned, pressing his back against the wall.
"Stay away from me."
The figure tilted its head again. Then, in that low, distorted voice, it said, "You shouldn't have watched." The lights flickered. Ethan dove toward the side window, thinking of escape. But outside, the streetlights were all out, the entire neighborhood swallowed in darkness. He looked back. The figure was gone. Vanished. The room was empty again. He stood there for several seconds, gasping for air, before finally flipping every switch he could find. Lights, monitors, anything bright. Nothing happened. Power, dead. The only illumination came from his PC tower. Its LED still pulsed faintly red. Then the monitor flashed. It turned on by itself. The same stream reappeared. That grim concrete room. The chair, empty. Then a figure entered frame. But this time, it wasn't wearing a mask. It was Ethan. Same hoodie, same headset, same look of confusion and fear. He stared at the screen, mouth open. No, that's not me." On screen, Ethan sat in the chair, shaking. Then, he raised his hands to his face and pulled a mask over it. The real Ethan stumbled backward, slamming into the wall. No! The lights burst to life for half a second, blinding. And when they went out again, the chair in front of his desk was empty. That's when the phone buzzed. He hesitated before picking it up. "Unknown number," he answered. "Who is this?" Static. Then a soft, familiar voice. "Chapter 2 is over, Ethan." The call ended. He dropped the phone. His vision blurred as adrenaline surged through him. From the corner of the room, a faint metallic whisper echoed. It was his microphone, recording on its own. Ethan woke up on the floor, sunlight spilling through the blinds. For a moment, he thought it was just a nightmare. Too much caffeine, too much streaming. But when he looked at his desk, the truth hit him like ice. The monitor was still on. The DarkWeb stream still played. And on the screen, the empty concrete room flickered like an open wound in the daylight. He yanked the plug from the wall. This time he made sure everything went black. No power. No noise. He sat there, breathing hard. He was offline. Completely, or so he thought. His phone buzzed. No caller ID again. He almost threw it, but curiosity got the better of him. He swiped open the message. It was a photo. Blurry, low-res, but he recognized the scene instantly. His apartment. Taken from outside his bedroom window. The caption read, "Smile for the stream." Ethan's stomach twisted. He rushed to the window, yanked the curtain back. The street was empty, just the early morning quiet of his small neighborhood. He scanned every car, every shadow. Nothing moved, but in the reflection of the glass, he saw something on his wall behind him. A mark, thin black lines scrawled across the paint in uneven strokes. It looked like some kind of symbol, a crude eye, drawn with a shaky hand. He touched it. Wet, fresh. Jesus. he whispered, wiping his hand on his hoodie. That's when he noticed his webcam's tiny red light was on. He lunged at the camera, yanking it from the monitor, but the light stayed on, even unplugged. He stared at it in disbelief as it blinked twice like a heartbeat, then dimmed. The whole room felt heavier now, like the air itself was aware of him. Watching. He turned every device off, one by one. Laptop, TV, router. Then he smashed the webcam on the floor. When the glass cracked, a faint whisper came through his speaker system. "You're not offline." He froze. It sounded like multiple voices whispering at once. Male, female, layered, glitching over each other. He ripped the power cord out again. Still, the whispering continued. Now from behind the wall, a slow dragging noise, like nails tracing along the drywall. Ethan backed toward the door. Nope, I'm leaving. He grabbed his keys and ran. Outside, the air felt strange, muted. Even the birds seemed to have stopped. As he got in his car, his phone buzzed again. He didn't want to look, but something inside him said he had to. The screen showed a live video feed. The title read, "Ethan McCoy, Live." And on the screen was his car. From somewhere above, maybe a drone, his heart sank. "Who's doing this to me?" he yelled, scanning the sky. Then the camera angle on the phone shifted. It zoomed in on his windshield, on him. He threw the phone into the passenger seat and hit the gas. He drove until he reached a diner on the edge of town. Anywhere with people, noise, and light. Inside, the world felt normal again. Coffee brewing, old music playing. He sat in a booth, shaking. A waitress approached, concern on her face. "You okay, hun? You look like you've seen a ghost." Ethan forced a weak smile. "Just rough night." She nodded and walked away. When she returned, she placed a mug of coffee in front of him and tucked under it a small piece of paper. She winked and left. Ethan frowned, unfolding it. "You can't hide in daylight." He looked up. The waitress was gone. In her place, a man sat 2 booths away, watching him, expressionless. And on the table in front of that man lay a white mask. Ethan stood so fast the mug spilled over.
Stay away from me.
Every head in the diner turned, but the man was already gone. Only the mask remained, lying perfectly still on the red vinyl seat. He backed toward the door, trembling. His phone buzzed again. This time, a voice message. He hit play, static, then a distorted whisper. "You're part of the stream now." The phone's flashlight turned on by itself, flashing rhythmically, pulsing like a beacon, and on the glass door's reflection, Ethan saw himself holding the phone. With the mask already covering his face, Ethan's body went cold. He blinked at the reflection in the glass door, his own face hidden behind the white mask. But when he reached up, his fingers touched bare skin. No mask. He spun around. No one behind him. No masked figure lurking nearby. The diner was quiet again, like nothing had happened. The spilled coffee, the paper, even the mask on the booth. Gone. Only the hum of an old refrigerator broke the silence. He backed out of the diner, heart still racing. The world outside felt off. Colors muted. Sound hollow. He looked at his car. The windows were fogged from the inside. Then his phone lit up. A notification. "Live now. Ethan McCoy. Mirror feed." His breath caught. He clicked it. The stream showed him, standing outside the diner, staring at his phone. The same angle, the same light. Real time. He looked around, searching for the camera. Nothing. He waved his hand. The feed on the screen waved back, perfectly synced. But then, the reflection on the phone screen didn't. It lagged. Just a second. But it wasn't a glitch. The reflected Ethan moved on its own. It raised a hand, slowly, and pointed behind him. Ethan turned. Nothing but the empty street. When he looked back at his phone, the reflection smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. It was wrong, too wide, too knowing. The reflected Ethan leaned close to the camera and whispered something. but there was no sound, just the faint hum of static. Then text appeared across the feed. "Look behind the glass." Ethan hesitated, then lifted his eyes to the diner's big front window. Inside, the booth where he'd been sitting now had someone in it. A silhouette. Still, patient, watching. He squinted. The light flickered. And in that split second, he saw the mask. White. Expressionless. The figure raised its hand and touched the glass from the inside. A faint palm print formed on the window, but on Ethan's side. He stumbled back, tripping over the curb. His phone slipped from his hand, landing screen up. The live stream continued, showing him lying on the ground. But behind his body on the feed, another shape stood. Tall, black, faceless. Ethan turned. Nothing there. He picked up the phone, shaking.
What do you want from me?
The screen flickered. The reflection on the phone leaned in, filling the display completely. It spoke. His own voice, distorted. "We don't want anything." You clicked accept. Ethan's mind raced back. The first time he opened that DarkWeb link, the site had flashed a brief prompt. Accept stream connection? He hadn't even thought. He clicked yes. He realized too late it wasn't about permission to view. It was permission to join. Now every camera, every reflective surface, was a portal, a mirror feed. He was being streamed through reality itself. He ran. He didn't know where, just away. Streetlights flickered as he passed. Cars were empty, stores dark. The whole town felt deserted, like the world had tuned out. He ducked into an alley, panting. For a few seconds, only silence. Then, the sound of a camera shutter. He turned, a broken phone on the ground. Screen cracked, and on it a new video began to play automatically. It showed the alley, and him. Only this time, he wasn't alone. Behind him in the video, standing just a few feet away, was the masked figure. Ethan whirled around. No one. He looked back at the phone. The masked figure in the video reached out, and its hand pressed against the inside of the screen. Cracks spread outward from where it touched, like spiderwebs in glass. Then a second later, a real crack formed in the air beside him, invisible but audible, like something breaking reality itself. The sound made his ears ring, and then he saw it. The faint outline of a door, shimmering, glitching, forming in midair. On it, scrawled in digital static, Ethan reached out. His hand passed through it, cold and weightless. The last thing he heard before everything went black was the same whisper that haunted him since that night. The stream never ends. There was no light, no sound, just darkness, thick as oil, pressing against Ethan's eyes. He couldn't tell if he was awake or dreaming. Then, slowly, a glow appeared, faint and blue, like a computer booting up in an endless void. A loading bar blinked into existence before him. Uploading. 32%. He tried to move. Couldn't. His body felt weightless, but frozen, like data suspended in space. Then a voice came through the darkness. Familiar, calm, mechanical. "Welcome back. Ethan McCoy." He tried to speak, but no sound came out. His throat didn't exist. "You have been selected," the voice continued, "to become a permanent content source." Images flickered around him. Fragments of his life. His streams, his face, his home. Moments replaying, looping endlessly. He saw his own camera feed, replaying every reaction, every word he'd ever said on video. Then new clips appeared. Things that never happened. He saw himself walking through rooms he didn't recognize. He saw a version of himself sitting beside the masked figure. He saw another version of him, screaming silently inside that concrete room. Each version stared directly into the camera, whispering in unison. You clicked accept. Ethan's thoughts blurred. He tried to remember what real even was. "Let me go," he thought. Or maybe said, "I don't want this." The voice responded, "You are the content now." The viewers demanded authenticity. "You are authentic." The bar ticked up. Uploading. 74%. He felt something tug at him. Memories being stripped away, pixel by pixel. His mother's voice. His first stream. His laugh. Gone. Each lost piece turned into footage, playing on invisible screens around him. He wasn't living anymore. He was being recorded. Then, somewhere far away, he heard knocking. Knock, knock, knock. The sound echoed through the void. Sharp and human. It repeated. Louder. Knock, knock, knock. He opened his eyes and gasped. He was back in his apartment. The lights were off. His PC glowed red again. The monitor displayed a black window. Upload complete. Someone was knocking on his door. He stumbled forward, dizzy, disoriented. Who's there? No answer. The knock came again, slower this time. Knock, knock. He grabbed a kitchen knife and crept toward the door. His webcam light turned on by itself, that faint red eye staring. He froze. On the monitor, a live stream had started. Live Now, the final upload. The thumbnail showed his apartment door. The camera wasn't pointing at him anymore. It was on the other side. Ethan's blood ran cold. Someone in or something like was streaming. From inside his hallway, he backed away, knife shaking in his hand. Stay away from me! The doorknob began to turn, slowly, silently. He lunged and slammed the lock down, but the knob kept moving. Click. The door creaked open. The hallway beyond was pitch black. Then, out of the darkness, a pale hand reached forward, holding something. A white mask. Ethan dropped the knife. The figure stepped into view. Tall, faceless, body flickering like corrupted footage. It placed the mask gently on the floor in front of him. Then it spoke, with his own voice. Welcome to the network, Ethan. The figure turned and walked toward the glowing monitor. Its hand touched the screen and sank through it like water. Without thinking, Ethan reached for the mask. The moment his fingers brushed it, the stream went live. Viewers from across the world saw the feed appear on the dark web. No one knew where it came from. No title, no description. Just a dim room, a chair, and a faint, distorted figure sitting perfectly still. Comments flooded in. Who is this guy? He's been live for hours. Why isn't he moving? Then, after exactly 1 hour, the figure lifted its head. The white mask turned toward the camera, and in a static, choked voice, it whispered, "Next viewer connecting."